folks, we are back here on WLTH 1370. This is a packed news week, and that's part of the issue. But this story right here made me look at my many kids. But I know a lot of you guys out there do, so I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say if you have kids. But yes, Rev, this mother in Chicago marched her son, her 18-year-old son, into a police station after recognizing him as a suspect in a $100 Chicago armed train robbery.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, let me give this story some context. This Chicago student allegedly robbed a train conductor at gunpoint to buy a snack before class and was turned into police by his own mother, who recognized him through widely circulated surveillance images of the robbery. Because I watch Fox 32 every day, and I remember seeing this story, and I remember thinking, this idiot is going to get caught. This guy, his name is Zion Brown. He goes to Loyola University.
Loyola University?
He goes to Loyola. You can't be.
Wow.
You cannot be slacking. You cannot be a thug and going to Loyola. He was charged with armed robbery for allegedly pulling out a black semi-automatic handgun on a Metro Electric line train and stealing the conductor's petty cash. He fled on foot and remained on the lam until later that night, when his own mother recognized him through the news coverage and drove him.
Now, wait a minute, though.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Now, maybe some people don't know exactly what kind of school Loyola is.
Oh, Loyola is like, it's like a Midwest Ivy almost.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Northwestern and those type of schools.
But what, now, okay, there are, well, matter of fact, okay, most of your Ivy League schools, the significant ones, Harvard, Yale, they started out as religious institutions.
Right.
They were schools to train clergy. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what kind of school Loyola was?
What?
It's a Jesuit. It's a Jesuit Catholic school.
Right.
It existed to train Jesuits.
Right.
So, can you imagine how many Hail Marys this kid would have to say?
He's gonna have to say a lot. He's gonna have to say a lot.
Man, oh man. I can't help but wonder, how he got into Loyola. Why he enrolled at Loyola. I mean, like you said, that's a private school.
Yeah, it is.
That's expensive.
Yes.
He's 18 years old. Why did he pick? I wonder what his major was.
I don't like. I mean, to me, these type of stories. We talked about this before when Clarence Avant's wife was murdered by some idiot thug in California. We have to bring back the concept of shame into our communities. Like, I would never want to do something like that, not just because it's wrong morally, but because I would understand that my father worked in a steel mill for 45 years, my mother who works here in the community for most of my life, my grandmother who, marched the civil rights, all these other people would be absolutely ashamed of me for doing it.
Yeah.
And the idea that people would have to go up to my mother and say, your son robbed somebody on that level would be enough for me to be like, okay, the shame of it would be enough for me to like not want to be like, to not want to do something like that. Like, I wouldn't want to shame my family.
Yeah.
Like, and we just don't have that concept of people who are. Now this dude. Now I would say his mother. I love how his mother. She drove him to the Calumet City Police Department. And so the question must be asked, okay? If your son did something similar, would you turn him in, or your daughter? I mean, girls are robbing people now. So if your daughter robs him,
robbing folks, stealing cars.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Man, it would hurt. It would hurt so bad.
Yeah.
If I did it, it would be after I had sat down and practically begged, my child to turn themselves in.
Right.
And they told me I ain't turning myself in. I'm not gonna do it. And I'd be like, well, look, one of us is gonna do this. It's gonna be you and me. Now here's one thing I find interesting. You know, remember now, just earlier this week, we had a story about a 15-year-old kid who bopped his mom upside the head with a brick and stole her car.
Oh, right. I did hear about that,
Right.
unfortunately.
But in this case, this 18-year-old boy got into the car.
Yeah.
He got into the car with his mom.
Yeah.
She drove them to the police station.
Yeah.
He didn't try to run.
No?
He got out the car with her, walked into the police station. So, you know, I have to give him, you know, at least an E for effort. When it came down to it,
Right.
he obeyed his mom.
Yeah. He did. I don't think I could do it. I'm sorry. Like, here's the reason why. Here's my reason, and I know I probably have some horrible kids because they know they can get away with whatever. But see, here's the thing. To me, like, there are some crimes that are so big and so catastrophic to your prospects in life
Yeah.
that I would have to think twice before turning my kid in for something like that, because I'm essentially saying you will have trouble getting a job for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You will have trouble. Well, first of all, you're definitely getting kicked out of this high-priced college.
Right.
I'm hoping his mother wasn't the one who had to pay for that. Like, I can only imagine how mad I'd be if I had to pay for this kid to go to college and he's gonna be out committing armed robbery. So maybe that's why she was so mad, okay?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gotta be. It's gotta be that maybe they looked at. I mean, you hear in the stories all the time. People shoot people,
Right.
and you know they get a little bit of bail. They
Right.
do a few years and they're out. I mean, they kill somebody
Right.
and they get out in a few years. I mean, we got a guy that calls. He talks about that from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
About, you know, how people want to talk about the justice system is unfair and how white folks get, you know, easy justice. Well, what about all these criminals in our communities that commit, you know, serious
I
crimes
think some of that's done on purpose.
just to put them back on the streets?
I think some of that's done on purpose. The more I think about, because like these are people who would put people in jail. They put us in jail for 25 years for selling drugs.
Right.
Okay. They put, like, I think almost half of America's, I think 46% when I looked it up a few weeks ago, 46% of America's prisoners are nonviolent offenders. Okay. So they're putting guys in jail who had marijuana, who had crack, who had some
Right.
cocaine, who didn't murder anybody.
They
In
doing
jail for
hard time.
Yeah, they're doing 25 years, but then somebody who actually killed or raped somebody, they let them out next week. Like I was listening, I was here with Levita last night, and she was talking to Chief Brian Evans, and they were saying that the guy who shot Sergeant Fazekas is back out on the streets.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sitting there like, really? I was figuring they was gonna put that brother under the jail.
Yeah.
I figured that.
Like he'd never see the light of day again.
That's what I thought. And so I figured, look, since he's never going to see the because I remember, I think I said something like that while we were talking about the story. Like, why would he do something where he would never see the light of day ever again? And here he is. They said he bailed out on, I think it was $14,000.
Yeah, 14,000.
$14,000. But yet again, you got guys who are in jail forever over marijuana, over weed, over crack, over selling people a product that they wanted. And so I think that some of that has to be done on purpose, in the sense that these people come out into our communities and terrorize us.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, guys who could be salvaged, like a guy who just sold some dime bags because he was hungry or because he was he needed some school clothes or something, that guy could be reformed.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't have to be locked away forever. But the guy who raped 100 people, he should probably be away somewhere.
Under the jail.
Yeah, put him under the jail.
Now it is. He robbed him for $100.
Yeah.
Wow. Now
he said he wanted a snack before his class.
Yeah. So
what?
I'll be honest. If someone were to try to rob me, they wouldn't get nothing because I don't carry any cash.
Neither do I, really.
I'm amazed that this guy actually had $100 on him. I'm intrigued by that. unless, well, I don't know. I haven't ridden a train in a long time. But I remember, when I was in California, you couldn't buy a ticket on the train. You'd have to buy it before you got on the train.
Right.
But I remember there was back in the day, you kind of could do that.
Right.
Like you could buy a Greyhound bus ticket.
Right.
Or, well, matter of fact, you can still do that with the shuttle bus. Well, when we had the shuttle buses, you could buy the shuttle ticket on the thing. So I guess they would carry some money, so maybe he would have money like that. But like I said, not more than $100. But that's what he got. Now, here's the funny part. The $100, that I'm not even sure if that's a felony. But the armed robbery part, that's going to get him.
Yeah, that's what, we got a caller. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi there.
Now, I tell you what about that young man. Now, if he calmed his rear end down enough to go home to his mama, and he got in the car and went on over to the place, they could probably feel good about releasing him into his mother's, what do they call it? Cognizant, whatever they call it, and know that he's not going to mess up again.
Right. I heard that.
I mean, this has been publicized, so the shame would be great enough.
And he should be ashamed.
He
He should be ashamed.
How dare he? Well, and this is a privilege. Well, I'm not going to say a privileged person, but certainly not an impoverished person.
Yeah.
Still, no. But she's nipped it in the bud. He has learned his lesson, and he'll probably get expunged after he graduates from college.
Now, would they let him graduate?
He's an economics major.
He's wow. Wow. So she raised him right, and he decided to go and do that.
Because he was hungry.
He
couldn't ask none of his friends.
Take him. Yeah. She's gonna put oil on his head and get him delivered.
So would you do the same thing?
He will never ever in this part of eternity ever break the law again.
He's gonna be in church every Wednesday night.
Would you do that though? If your son did something like that, would you drive him to the police station?
I don't. Well, that's a good question. That's a good question because, that's a good question.
I just had a thought. Now, I could see myself making my child go back to the train.
Yeah.
To the conductor.
And
give him back the $100 and then another $50 for his time.
Yeah.
Yeah, take him back to the train. Yeah, right.
And make him give the money back.
I can see
Double the money. Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. All right, thank you for your call, man.
I like that one. I like that one.
We got to go to another break here before the end of the hour. Please stay with us. 219-885-1371. We got to talk about Joe Biden's nominee for the Supreme Court and some new COVID. Breaking news on COVID.
Okay.
We'll be right back after this.